All right, here we go, everybody. Welcome to the freaky Friday night marketing talk on Monday night. Sorry that we had to cancel this Friday's webinar, but we're making it up here tonight. A lot of you have been asking, well, can we try it on another night, see how it works? So this is your chance. This is another night, and you can see how it works, and we'll see how it works and decide later on. But there will be another webinar this Friday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm Nathan, and we have Lewis here, and we're going to be talking about reputation management.
Like a freaking boss.
That's right, an income bully exclusive. All right, so what you're going to learn tonight is the mistake 99% of people make when offering this service. And this is an awesome service to offer, but the way people are doing it, it's just wrong. Now, how many people that are watching this right now, how many of you have offered reputation management services? Give me a two. Drea says he's not offering, but he's really interested in it. John says he needs it. Okay, John, you're going to learn a lot tonight. And for those that are already offering it, you're going to learn a lot. And those that want to offer it, you're going to learn a lot. So, it's really not as complicated as people make it sound. And there are a lot of misconceptions with this service. You're also going to learn why reviews are only a small, teeny tiny part of this service. You're going to learn the real opportunity in offering it, how to differentiate yourself from your competitors, how to find the ideal client, and how to perform the service, whether you're wanting to do it for clients or whether you want to do it for yourself. And Lewis, is there anything else that they're going to learn? I don't know.
I
Did I
don't
miss
know,
something?
man. No, we we always go off on a tangent, man. So tonight, I mean, I'm super excited. I called it actually something a little bit different, and we'll kind of talk about it in just a little bit. Me and Nathan were just talking about it, how I just call it something way different, and I'm so
Yeah.
excited to kind of just dive right into it tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and get moving. So the biggest mistake people make with this service is targeting businesses with a bad reputation. It seems common. Like if you look in forums and you see blogs and you follow these people that are gurus and how to get clients and all this stuff, they're always telling you, go to Yelp, go to wherever and look for people with bad reviews. That's the worst way to do it. I don't know why they preach it as being the best way. I guess in theory it works out, but it really isn't a good idea. So why is this bad? They're usually careless. Uh, they don't understand the value of the internet marketing, websites, reviews online. It's a hard sell. It's an uphill battle when you have to deliver and it comes to fulfillment. They really aren't your ideal client, and honestly, the best time to manage or market your reputation is before you need it. So that really is the biggest mistake. How many of you guys have already seen somebody say, "Well, just go to Yellow Pages or Yelp and find people with bad reviews"? Is that kind of your understanding of how to find clients with this service? And give me a response. Tell me what you guys think. And Lewis, what did you think too? Because I'm sure when you first started out learning, a lot of different things, I'm sure you've seen, kind of beginner questions in this area. What were the initial things that you came across?
Yeah, I'll give you two different perspectives, man. And that's what I love about being on this show is that I do have those different perspectives. As part of being a business owner, it's well. Let me first delve into the internet marketing perspective. I like that one better. As far as the internet marketing's perspective goes, um, one of the things that I first started learning. Now, for those of you who do or don't know, I'm pretty sure nobody knows this, but I before I started talking to Nathan and before I was kind of active in the Warrior Forum, I was extremely active in Black Hat World. For those of you guys who know what site that is, um, I was very active in that forum, and I still am, I guess. But what those guys advocate, and there's a really popular post on there. There's a guy who talks about pointing out these really bad reviews and making circles with red pens. And Mason says yes because he knows what I'm talking about. Yep, yep. And he's over here just pointing out the what may be obvious to these business owners. And what you're saying is absolutely right, man. Typically, these are the people who really don't care. And so what I kind of have been learning as we talk and as we as we've been talking about these webinars and kind of presenting to everybody is finding ways to differentiate yourself. And everybody and their mom does this. So
Right.
you, you know um yeah, there's just a lot of cool stuff coming up. Anyways, let's just let's go ahead and just get on with it.
Yeah. All right. So reviews are only really a very small part of online reputation management. Seriously, it's so small, and it's really sad to see all these people focusing on reviews only when it really isn't that big of the overall picture. And that's why I think it's a mistake to target the businesses with bad reviews, because it is. It's just a small part of ORM. So, it's not about reviews. Reviews are the last step. They're the last step in the overall process. Um, they're not a first step. It's really not a good idea to use reviews as part of your sales process or marketing methods. I understand the whole direct mail thing with the whole negative reviews and red circle. I get that because I've done it, but it's really not the ideal way to go about this. Um, when people are doing branded searches, reviews don't control the conversation. And when you're doing reputation management or reputation marketing, the goal is to control the conversation, control the thoughts, lead them to where you want them to be, lead them to ask the questions that you want them to ask and where you want them to be answered. That's the real goal. It's not so they could see a bunch of positive reviews mixed with negative reviews. That's not the goal. They're really the least of your worries when it comes to reputation management. And the last point on here, review harvesting, review management. It's a cheap, low value service that makes little difference to a business. And it really is. If you look at a lot of the review companies out there, I mean, Lewis, you might have seen some, and you might have been pitched by a few with your offline business, your pressure washing company. It seems like a lot of these people do like a $50 a month or $100 a month review harvesting or solicitation service. Have you ever been approached by one of them?
No, I can't say that I have. I guess I get lost in translation with as many people calling me for backlink packages, but
Yeah, fair
uh,
enough. Fair enough.
um, but no, as far as getting those phone calls, no, I can't say I have.
All right, that's cool. But yeah, I mean, if you do a little bit of research, you'll find certain companies. Demand Force is a really popular one, though they have like a service. I think it's under $100 a month, and they'll kind of syndicate and harvest and curate reviews for you and have it all in one spot. And it's just really a low value service. So you might be asking, what's the real opportunity here? Reputation management is a value pack service that, when done properly, it drives additional traffic to your website. increases trust and authority, increases rankings, connects with your demographic, your target market, nurtures with social media. I mean, if you think about proper reputation management, there's so much to it. It's not just reviews. It's using a lot of different properties. It's helping with your SEO, it's doing social media, it's building citations, it's doing a lot of different things. It's not about reviews. You're doing a lot of different things here. So it's one of the best services you could offer, um, and have a really good price point with. So that's something to really consider. And I know a lot of people, when you're first starting to get into this, you look at a lot of different services like web design, SEO, maybe even pay per click. Lewis, what's the service that stuck out to you the most? I know reputation management is not one of those services.
No, I can't say it was, man. And quite frankly, um, the very first service that really stuck out to me, and it probably up until this point probably still does. Um, maybe you convince me otherwise, but uh, but SEO for me was it, and the reason being was um, it came on a monthly retainer, and I feel like though it's a little bit harder to sell to some people, as SEO, if you sell it as internet visibility, if you sell it as an opportunity for more revenue, then they're easier sells, and so one being the recurring revenue, two the actual sales process.
Yeah, yeah. And when it comes to reputation management, if you think about SEO as like one of those top services, and I love SEO. I get it. But when you think about reputation management, it's like SEO on steroids. You're not just doing SEO on the main site. You're doing SEO on all your top properties. You know what I mean? So it's SEO on steroids. It really is. It's a very intense thing when you do it right, and you could definitely get the recurring revenue, um, big ticket recurring revenue as well. So it's definitely something to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of curious what to know what that service is for the people in our audience. I know most of you guys are internet marketers now. I mean, what service is that for you? For me, it was, I mean, starting out, it was SEO. And I'm just kind of curious, Andrea, Chris, David, we got Kevin in here, Joe, John, Mason, Matt. What was it for you guys? And while they answer, what was it for you, Nathan? At
For
first.
me, when I first started, it was just web design. That was it. Um, and I hate to admit it, but it took me way too long to figure out I should be charging for hosting. So, yeah, it was web design and hosting, and I was getting into SEO by like researching it myself. For me, not for offering it to clients. It wasn't until afterwards when I started getting the hang of it to start offering it to clients. So definitely web design first, then offering hosting as the upsell, recurring revenue, and then SEO. So yeah, that was it for me.
Yeah. We have some lead gen guys. Chris is a lead gen. Andreas says web design was the first thing. John was local SEO. So most of you guys, it wasn't ORM wasn't something that really just came first, and I'm glad we're talking about it tonight. I mean, we're going to really delve into the beauty of it, and I think you guys are already kind of starting to see the opportunity because. Uh, I'm sure many of you guys, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure that many of you guys have thought about getting into ROM or have looked into it somewhat, but because you started with something, you may have felt either comfortable with it, or maybe you just didn't understand it. Or I mean, give me a two if before tonight you didn't really understand what it was, or if even if you did understand what it was, you weren't sure how to pitch it. Give me a two if that was the case for you.
With
Yep.
with reputation management, it's not an attractive service. Like when you look at everybody wanting to get into this, they think, websites, I could just outsource it and sell. That's all I have to do. That's what people think. And then the same goes with SEO too. They think that you could just go to Odesk or freelance or wherever and just um, just outsource it all. All they have to do is make sales. Say, hey, I could get you page one in 3 months, or we'll do it for free. that that type of thing, and that's what people find attractive. I think they think that web design, SEO, that type of stuff is easily outsourced, and that's what they pick, which could be a very good thing for anybody with vision. If you have vision and you could see this service and figure out the right way to pitch it and the right people to pitch to, it's so much easier to dominate. Um, because if you think about it, look at all the SEO people out there. Lewis gets tons and tons of emails every day. I get tons of emails every day, saying, well, I think there's an opportunity to rank for this and that keyword, gets however many searches a month, for just a small monthly fee, blah, blah, blah. What do you think? Email me back, stuff like that, the spam emails, and then a lot of the cold calls. And, that's just, there's a lot of competition there. So with reputation management, since so few people really understand it, and the ones that do somewhat understand it and are just pitching reviews or review management, there's a lot of opportunity here. That's what gives it a huge advantage when you're offering it to businesses.
Yep, absolutely.
So I guess John says he pitched a review portal. That was it. Yeah, and that's really what it comes down to with people offering this. They think that it's all about reviews. It's not all about reviews. It's just a very tiny part of it all. So, and you're going to learn that here in the next slide. You must differentiate. So when you think about it, reputation management, some people, some business owners that understand the concept, they're probably getting pitched already for it, and they did some research. And sadly, a lot of them think that it's a bad service because people are focusing on fake reviews or just review harvesting, things like that. So you want to kind of create your own spin on it. And here's just a bullet list of things that you could do to position yourself differently or differentiate yourself. You could call it authority creation, search engine branding, reputation marketing, which I like, authority marketing, SERO, search engine reputation optimization. You could create your own phrase, whatever you want to call it. And you should do that with anything, whether it's SEO or this. You should be doing your own spin on things. I mean, what do you think, Lewis? What if you got a call for offering reputation management? Would you want to hear reputation management, reputation marketing, authority marketing? I mean, what would catch your attention?
Yeah, well, if I had a phone call for reputation management, the first thing that would come to mind is what the hell's wrong with my reputation? What are you talking about, fool? That would be my very first thought. Um, just to be honest with you. So I mean, it's I think it's a little bit different for everybody, and by segmenting your target market, you'll find that and I guess you really only find out by testing, really. But you'll find that certain kinds of people and certain niches and in certain markets, they may want to hear you tell them, I'm going to build up your authority, and every person is different. Um, but definitely don't pitch reputation management. Talk about being an authority. Talk about being a well-known brand. Talk about being, make it positive. Reputation management is like it's a red flag. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? Uh, you know, um, and when you're going after that different market, like you said, Nathan, um, these are the kind of people that don't have bad reviews. These are the kind of people that they're already spending money, and so by feeding into their ego and by feeding into the potential of building up a really strong authoritative site and a really strong authority brand, I mean, they'll eat it all up.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's what people care about, you know. They don't like the whole pitching like reviews. It's just not valuable. It's not a high value service.
Right.
So, I
Exactly.
guess we could go on to the next one. Just keep in mind you gotta be different. It's always better to be different in whatever you're doing, whether it's web design or SEO or pay per click. You got to be different, and that's when I was doing web design. Well, I still am, but one thing before responsive websites became popular, like that's what I started pushing. Like I started talking about how it's responsive. You don't need a separate mobile site. It adjusts based on the screen size. It could work on a big flat screen TV. It could work on a smartphone. It doesn't matter. So, it's always better to be different in everything that you're doing, everything you're offering, whether it's online services like this stuff, or whether it's pressure washing like in Lewis's case. So always be different. You got to differentiate. And this part is how to find your ideal client. And this is the list that I put together for you. This is what I look for in a client. It's usually someone that's ranking well. This is important because they're the people that are ranking pretty well are usually the ones that see more value in these types of services. Now, I usually don't try and go after somebody in the first, second, third spot. Actually, anything that's third and below is usually a good sign. Someone with a well-designed website. Once again, you want to see that they care about their presence, their online presence. It's their business card. It's the face of their company on the internet. So I want to see somebody that has that. I want to be able to know their type of business could afford, 500 to 1,000 to $2,000 a month. Um, whatever I'm going for. I need to know that. So that automatically excludes, most barber shops, nail salons, even most restaurants, because restaurants are super low margin. And I know I get a lot of emails from people that started out in this and they're wondering why they're not doing very well and they've been going after thousands and thousands of restaurants. Well, that's not a you problem. That's a um, niche selection problem. Uh, it's That's one of my least favorite industries to target. So you wanna stay away from the low end type of stuff, and you want to look for these companies that are ranking well. It looks like they have a nice presence, but they don't have top tier properties like Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram. Things like that are social media. And even though social media might not be a major thing for their business, that doesn't mean that you can't use it for this service, like boosting their brand online, boosting their reputation. Um, it, these properties are really important. Um, and if they're paying for pay per click already, if you look on the side of Google and you see ads, that's a big bonus. If they're marketing offline with TV, radio, Yellow Pages, Yellow Book, that's a bonus. You want to see people that are paying a pretty penny for advertising, whether it's online or offline, because chances are they'll see the benefit in this service. Is there anything that you would add, Lewis?
Yeah, man. One of the beauty, or the beauty in ORM um, and selling the benefits to this is not only is it good for their brand, but it also boosts their SEO. So if they're ranking,
Yeah,
that's great. That's fantastic. Um, but if they're in the first spot, I mean, it just solidifies their their rankings. And if they're in, third or fourth, another benefit to this would be that, by having stronger um, I guess, authoritative sites,
yeah.
that that'll
Kind of
help their
acts as
SEO.
like it almost acts like a citation if you do that, which could be combined with local SEO. So,
Absolutely.
and the reason why I look for people that are already ranking well designed website is because I think that it's important to be able to identify people that care, people that would it's almost like pre-qualifying them in a way. You know what I mean? I mean, Lewis, for example, like if you do pressure washing, I know you do a lot of commercial stuff, um, but you also do some residential here and there. But I seriously doubt that you go into like the bad, trashy neighborhoods of houses that they need it, that they need your service, but you're not going to spend your marketing dollars there, are you? You're
Right.
gonna you're gonna focus on the higher end stuff, the people that already recognize the value, the ones that have pride of ownership. So
Exactly. And you know what's
um,
funny, man? Starting out, that was my mentality. Starting out, I was like, man, this is dirty, man. What the heck? They need my help. Knock knock, who's there? Lewis with Revitalize. Uh, um, and I'd be like, well, your house is dirty, or maybe not. I wouldn't do houses. I would knock on commercial properties, and I'd be like, well, your property's dirty. Oh, really? How much? Then it's like, wait, what? How much? You don't even know what I do yet. Uh, so absolutely, I can completely relate with that statement. Um, That's
yeah,
terrible, man.
yeah.
How many of you guys in the audience have had that problem where you find somebody who like desperately needs your help, and they just you can help them, but they just can't afford your services. How many times have you come across that? Give me like a seven if you come across that and it frustrates the heck out of you. Andreas, you even spelled it out. It frustrates you. You spelled it out. You didn't even give me a number. You spelled it out. Wonderful. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. But no. I came across that early in business, and I had to correct that ASAP. So it definitely translates here. Uh,
Yeah,
I
and the
like.
same thing the same thing goes with like offering website design too. Like I don't know, a lot of people are going after people that don't have websites. I mean, I still get some people like that, but for the most part, and I wrote a blog about this today. It was a mailbag issue. If you guys haven't checked it out, you should. And one of the questions was, should I build a prospect list of people with websites or without? And to me, I think the value is in the list with websites, the people that have already seen the benefits of having one. And it's kind of funny that the best clients end up being the ones that already had a great website to begin with, but something was wrong, something they wanted better. And it's usually those types of businesses that will, make for the ideal client. I sent out an email before, well, lots of emails, but this call really really stays in mind. And I got a call from this guy. He says, "Okay, tell me more about whatever this is, blah blah blah." And I looked at everything that he had going, and everything was perfect. So I asked him, I was like, "Okay, I just have to ask. It looks like everything's perfect for your business. Why did you decide to call?" And he was like, "Well, things are going good because when people like you email or call, we always jump on it and see if we could improve our business." So, those are the type of people that you want. You want people that aren't satisfied with the status quo. You want people that want more. And that's how it is in everything, every service that you offer, and definitely when it comes to reputation management or reputation marketing. And I'm sure it's the same with you, Lewis, too. Like with
Yeah.
pressure washing, you want the people that already are doing it, already see the value.
Yeah, man, absolutely. In fact, well, yeah, no, I don't know if I told you this or not, man. We just recently transitioned into a full exterior service company, man. We like officially did it like last week. Yeah.
That's
So
cool. So what
yeah.
what exactly what else are you doing now?
Now, well, we're doing like outsourcing for landscape. We're doing outsourcing for painting, outsourcing pretty much anything on the outside, the parking lot striping. I mean, you name it.
Roofing?
We yeah, no, no roofing, no roofing, no,
Well, that's cool.
yeah, but
So
yeah, let's. Oh, go ahead.
have you noticed it working out? Well, you know what? We will probably get sidetracked and talk about that for half an
20
hour, so we
minutes.
probably
Yeah,
shouldn't. All right, so
yeah,
this is more on finding your ideal client. Um, so if you're trying to figure out a way to compile a lead list, you could do it manually. Just search Google, create your own lead list. And I know that that's probably not the most beneficial way when you're thinking about like mass marketing type stuff, like burning through a bunch of numbers. But with this type of service, this isn't really I mean, everything's a numbers game, but this service is more, let's say, focused. Um, like it's not a churn and burn, call, pitch, hang up, go to the next number and pitch. You want to spend some more time on these. You want to email, you want to talk to them, you want to get to the decision maker, uh, uh, you want to keep on furthering this down the sales cycle, the sales funnel. Um, it's a little tricky when you're just going after the low hanging fruit type of strategy. So it's something that you want to focus your time on. And I'm sure Lewis could relate to that. Like when it comes to commercial properties and big contracts, it takes time, but the money is usually worth it in the end.
yeah, absolutely. Anything worth uh, getting in life or anything worth doing in life is a little time consuming. Absolutely.
Well, I don't know about all that, but
Sure it is. Sure it is. I mean, okay, okay. Not everyone can be Nathan and just kick ass in 2 days. I mean, what about everyone in the audience? I mean, what now we have a conversation now. What do you guys think? Uh, do you think everything worth having, I mean, takes time, or do you think you just learn from Nathan and just start kicking ass? Oh, I'd like to hear
well, I mean,
that.
I just disagree that not everything worth having takes time. That's all. I think there's things that are worth having that don't take much time at all. Sure, people visiting Thailand could relate to
Yeah, that's true.
that. Yeah, anyway. All right. So another way you could generate a lead list, Mobile Renegade. Of course, I have to mention it. because there's a cool feature. You could see which businesses, um, are already advertising in Yellow Book, Yellow Pages. You can use the Google plugin, and see, where people are ranking, and the amount of reviews they have, stuff like that. If that's what you want to do. Um, you could also look at like pay-per-click advertisers and compile your lead list that way. Local newspapers, trade magazines. There's a lot of different things that you could use. Even direct mail. People that are mailing you, that they're like saying, "Hello, I'm a lead," and you could contact them that way. This is, I don't really believe in like mass scraping for this type of service when it's this much value, and it's typically a little bit harder to explain and show the value, um, you know, with one call. So there's not going to be one call closes with this type of service. Um, I mean that's just it. That's just how it's going to go. You're going to want to put time into this, and if you're getting, let's say you just get 10 clients over the course of a year at $1,000 a month, that's $10,000 a month. That's $120,000 a year that you're getting, by offering this service. So don't be afraid to invest some time into it. It's definitely something unique. It's really the way to go. It's an all-inclusive service, so that's just how I feel about it. Is there anything you want to add, Lewis?
Well, no, not really, man. Not really. You pretty much hit the nail on the head, in my opinion. Uh, no, I mean, if you guys are feeling ballsy, you can go after people who are targeting on TV.
Yeah,
You know, yeah, yeah, no, but anybody targeting or doing any advertising offline is perfect for the service. Anyone doing any advertising, and let's see, you hit the newspapers.
yeah.
Anyone
Newspapers
on
are a
Yelp.
great source.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of these newspapers are expensive as heck. And I know people advertising on Yelp or Yellow Pages, I mean they're dropping a pretty penny on those pages. In fact, I got a cold call today from Yelp, and I was just like, "No, don't bother me." "Are you sure?" "Yeah, I'm sure. Don't bother me." "But it's profitable." "No, it's not. Get out of here."
Yeah, now they're gonna hide all your good reviews.
I know those jerks. How many of you guys in the audience have had cold calls from Yelp? Tell me how annoying that is. Give me a five if you've ever had a cold call from those guys.
I give you a five.
Oh, a bunch of fives. I
Chris
give
mentioned Valpak, Penny Saver, industry directories. Valpak and Penny Saver would be some good sources. I didn't even think about that, Chris.
Oh, good
Good
job,
call on
Chris. Yeah, yeah. I'll never forget that HubSpot cold called me.
that. You know,
That
I've gotten a cold call from Yelp before, and I was terrified. I was so polite to them. I probably stayed on the phone for 30 minutes, politely saying no, maybe later, because I didn't want them to screw me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of like Dun and Bradstreet, like your, like business credit, your Paydex score. Well, if you register to find out your Paydex score, they're going to harass you about your like business credit, like build your business credit program, and if you're rude to them, they could really screw you over. So it kind of reminded me of dealing with them when Yelp called me. I
Wow. It's
was
like the
a
mafia.
little scared. Yeah, I know. Digital
Yeah.
kingpin.
Cool.
uh,
Let's move on.
all right, so performing this service, whether you're doing this for clients or for yourself, this is a good example of what I want, for like branded searches. Like if you're searching, whatever business name whatever it is. This is what I want to show up. I want the regular website, the .com, and you could also throw in like a .net version, .org version, to fill up these searches. You want Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, Google Plus, LinkedIn, press releases, articles, Flickr, all kinds of different stuff that are not reviews. You want this because you're controlling the conversation. Um, you're controlling what people see. Now, this is what I think great reputation management really is. It's not about reviews. It's about showing them what you want them to see. Ask the questions you want them to ask, answer them how you want to answer them, and doing this and having things set up this way really helps you do that. Now, you don't need to be active on social media. You don't need to be on Instagram every single day. You should have a couple videos, even if they're just videos, slideshows, um, like made with Animoto on YouTube, because that could give you some valuable real estate, not just for branded searches, but for other keywords as well. Um, Flickr, that's another. It's like a visual business. Now, if you see on the side here, I mentioned Thumbtack, Manta, Super Pages, Insider Pages. I mentioned these properties because if you're going to be harvesting any kind of reviews at all, if you're setting up a portal or you're going to repurpose other reviews, these are sites that you could basically um, post those reviews without any kind of filter. Um, I mean, you could put 500 reviews on insider pages without them removing a single one. So that's why those are the only review sites um, I would really recommend even using, but only after you have like a solid brand search result with your top tier properties. So, and these properties are going to help other things. They're going to help drive traffic to the website. They're going to help with brand recognition. It's going to help with SEO. It's going to help with a lot of different things. Um, so you want to keep that in mind, and you always want to fill out the profiles completely. Um, you want to at least populate the properties somewhat. Um, is there anything you want to add, Lewis? I mean, to me, I think it's kind of straightforward, but um, I don't know. What do you guys think, Lewis? What do you think?
Yeah, man. I mean, I like that you touched on controlling the conversation, and that plays a big role in how you're perceived. You know, it depends what your customer or even what your business, what you're doing in your own business, to advertise yourself or to get traction or to get any kind of traffic. But for those of you who aren't just doing SEO, which it'd be pretty bad if you were just doing just SEO for your website, um, because you should diversify your lead generation. But um, for those of you who are not just doing SEO, it's really important that when people find you, that you are perceived the way you want them to perceive you, if that makes any sense. Um, by by focusing on building up social medias and I call these now, for those of you who may or may not be familiar with the term, I call these parasite sites. And essentially what I mean by that is you're leeching off of their authority, therefore they're give me a three if you've heard of that term before. I don't want to sound like I'm alone here. Have you heard of the term parasite? Three, three, three. Okay, cool. So I'm not alone. Okay. Uh, I thought I was just weird calling that. Okay, cool. Yeah, parasite, and Andrea. Yeah, with a T. But um, but yeah, no, it just by ranking. the important stuff, with the social medias, um, the LinkedIn, Google Plus, Pinterest, yada yada. I mean, it really just it allows you to if you play your cards right, I suppose it allows you to really brand yourself correctly, and I
Yeah, and
love
you
it,
gotta
man.
you gotta make sure to interlink them as well. Like, I mean, you should have like the Facebook, Twitter icons on the website, maybe YouTube, Pinterest, Google Plus, LinkedIn, all that stuff. So you wanna interlink them when you can. And LinkedIn company pages, they also allow anchor text. They're do follow. So that's a multi-purpose property right there. Um, let's see here. You want to interlink them where you can. Manta allows you to integrate Facebook and Twitter into the profile. So that's what you want to do. Same with Thumbtack. So always keep that in mind. And when if you want to add on additional properties, um, let's say it's Bob's Roofing. So you would want to do like bobsroofingcomplaints.com, which is it could be like a one-page website where it says, "Do you have a complaint about Bob's Roofing? Fill out this form, and the owner will get back to you directly." Something like that. That way, a bad review doesn't get posted. It gives him a chance to respond directly offline, and that's something that you want to do. And same thing with the business name reviews.com. You want to if you're going to be soliciting reviews, you could do it through like a portal like that, and then repurpose the reviews with their permission on Manta, Super Pages, Insider Pages. Um, Now, the reason I like to avoid any kind of review sites in the top, well, in the first page of Google for branded searches, is because if you have um, a few positive reviews and no negatives, that doesn't mean it's always going to stay that way. I have people contacting me, emailing all the time, asking if I would post negative reviews you know, on other companies, their competitors. And that's something that's happening, and it's going to be happening more and more. So if you could control what they find in branded searches, that's you want to. You definitely want to.
Yep,
Same thing with
absolutely.
Yelp. You could have great reviews with Yelp, but knowing how Yelp is, I wouldn't feel confident uh, counting on that to just stay there. I mean, you could have six good 5-star reviews on Yelp, and then tomorrow you're just going to have a 1-star review that knocked off all your other reviews, and now they're filtered. So this could happen anytime. That's why you want to have properties that you completely control, or I mean, completely control as in you could control what kind of content's going to be on that property. Make
Yep,
sense? Well,
yep, yep, yep.
and for these properties, you could actually control which ones are going to be ranking where if you want to. It's a little tricky. It takes a little bit of testing, but you'll want to make sure that you do on-page optimizations best you can when it comes to these properties. Not just with the URL, but different words on the page. And this is where you're not going to get penalized for over optimization. You don't want to spam a bunch of keywords, but you could be more liberal in this approach than you can with your own site. So make sure you completely fill out every property profile. 100% completion, just like if you were doing this as local SEO with your local or Google My Business listing. You want to fill it out to completion, everything. You want to build out the profiles the best you can. You don't need to post all the time, but you want to build out the profiles. You could, like with Twitter, you want to follow a bunch of different people to get some let's just call it internal link juice. And you follow to get followed type of thing. Same with Pinterest. You want to have at least some sort of activity on these properties in order to get them in your page one branded results. Um, you could also mass backlink these top tier properties because, like Lewis said, they're parasite. They're parasites. So um, Google sees a lot of authority with these properties. They're not going to penalize them for unnatural backlink profiles. Google will never penalize YouTube for for having a bunch of backlinks to different videos or different channels. And the same thing's going to happen with Facebook business pages, Twitter pages, Pinterest, anything that's high authority. You're pretty much safe. So this could also be used as a tiered backlinking strategy for SEO. But right now we're just talking about it for reputation marketing, reputation management purposes. Um, and any directory, anything that allows you to list more than one link, do it. Link to other brand properties, whatever you could link to, do it. Let's see here. Lewis, anything you want to add to that?
No, man, you hit the nail right on the head. You know, for something like the top tier properties, uh, um, I know now before I even say anything, me and Nathan had this conversation maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he literally spammed the hell out of my out of my Skype with this one sentence, and I'm going to tell you this two times, not just once. I'm going to tell you guys twice. Correlation does not equal causation. Do you want me to repeat that, gentlemen? Hey, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you watching the replay or for those of you live, correlation does not equal causation. Guys, I'm going to say it one more time for the hell of it.
Do it. Do it.
Correlation does not equal causation. Uh, yeah, Kevin, I
Again.
might have to type it in just a minute. No, but so with that being said, gentlemen, take this with a grain of salt. But the higher PADAs, like he said, of these websites, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, anything pretty much higher than 90, maybe 85, 80, 80, you're pushing it.
Anything over 70 is usually pretty high authority.
Yeah,
So
yeah. These are the kind of things you can now. This might be insider secret. I don't know. Uh, you could don't tell your friends. I don't know if you want to. I don't care. Uh, you guys can take a look at Fiverr for things like this, or I mean, you could literally uh, send black hat spam shit to this kind of stuff, and you're
yeah,
good.
you definitely can. I mean, I do it all the time with tiered backlinking. Yeah, definitely, all the time, and they never get hit ever. So
Yeah. So, yeah, Andrea, I'm going to say that one more time. Correlation does not equal causation. And if any of
and
you gentlemen, ladies or gentlemen watching this, if any of you guys give me your Skype, I swear, one time in your lifetime, I will spam you with that one line.
yeah, like I did to you.
Yeah, my phone was ringing off. I mean, it was like vibrating off the hook. But
And that conversation happened because how did that go? You were trying to tell me how important it was for backlinks, or no, for ranking, wasn't it?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
the higher page authority or domain authority, the higher rankings or something.
yeah,
So I had you literally go to like 5 pages deep and saw like sites with just the same authority and sometimes even higher.
yeah. We went 10 pages deep, and even then it was like, dang.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, you got to keep in mind domain authority, page authority. That's not a Google metric. That's a it wasn't created by Google. So It's definitely not. It's simply correlation. And Lewis, what does this? You want to say it again?
Yeah, of course I'm gonna say it, man. I've have it like embedded in the back of my mind. Correlation does not equal what is that, audience? Correlation does not equal. I'm just waiting for you guys to say it. Causation. Yeah. Yep, that's it. That's it, guys.
Nice. So what made you start saying like how was that relevant to this anyway?
No, what I was saying was that take the PA and DA with a grain of salt when you send spam shit to it. Just just because you may find like a directory site with really high PA, really high DA, you should just be careful where you send your black hat spam to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's all I was saying.
Yeah, the sites listed here, these are all good. Um, they're high enough authority, so you don't need to worry.
Sure. If anyone got greedy though, that's where I was going with that.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So some more quick tips. If you set up like businessnamereviews.com or whatever, bobsroofingreviews.com, it can be cloned, one page site, harvest reviews. We kind of already talked about that. What we didn't talk about is displaying these reviews on the actual website. Like let's say it's bobsroofing.com. You should have bobsroofing.com/reviews or /testimonials, something like that, to where somebody's going to be searching reviews of Bob's Roofing. They're going to see that your page is going to be optimized for that, and you're going to have all the reviews that you approve of listed right there. And if you're going to publish reviews on third party sites, make sure it's a controllable property or what I call an inflatable property, which means you could basically post as many reviews as you want without them being filtered. So if you want to if you're soliciting reviews, cool. If you're making up reviews, hey, whatever. I don't care. I don't think any less of you. But that's what you want to do. You want to do it on a property where you'll have unfiltered reviews. Um, Now, this is something that nobody ever talks about when it comes to reputation management. And these are the people that are talking about reviews and review management and review harvesting, review posting, things like that. They don't tell you that responding to these reviews can sometimes hurt you. And what that means is if you ever see something on Ripoff Report, Consumer Complaints, or any kind of site that has a lot of bad reviews or has like a certain amount of or a certain demographic of people, like Ripoff Report, the people that go to Ripoff Report, they are going there not to post anything non-biased. They're not going there to post anything good. They're going there to post something bad. So you do not want to respond to these people. The reason is you want these knocked off the first page as soon as possible, as soon as you can. So when you respond, you're adding length to the page. You're adding relevance to the page. You're adding a uh, timestamp to the page, making it fresh. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to respond to those types of reviews. Now, if it's a site like well, I don't know. See, I don't like having so. But if you have Yelp ranking and you don't want to push it down, then you'd probably want to respond to reviews, but only if it's quick. Um, if you just discovered you had a review posted it was negative 3 months ago, responding to it now is not going to do anything for you. One, it doesn't show your visitors or people that are visiting that profile that you respond on time. It's not showing that you're helping resolve their problem. You know, responding 3 months later is worse than not responding at all. So ignore the reviews unless you could respond to it within, let's say, a day. If it's longer than that, ignore it. And I know some people watching this, well, probably more so in the replay, people are going to question that and wonder why I'm saying that, and maybe they'll think I'm wrong. But from what I've seen and in my experience, that's the way to do it. If you could respond to a review right away, then do it. If not, then don't. Respond offline where it's not visible for everybody to see that you're taking forever to respond.
Yep,
Um,
yep, yep.
yeah, so I mean, how many of you guys knew that? Like, I'm sure some of you have seen people say, "Well, you want to respond to reviews no matter what." Like, how many of you have seen that already? Like somebody saying, "Well, if you want to manage your reputation, you have a negative review, you got to respond no matter where it is right away." No answers. Well, I guess they haven't had to deal with it yet. But if it's anything like Consumer Reports, Consumer Affairs, Pissed Consumer, um, Ripoff Report, anything like that, you want to simply not respond to those type of things. Now, if it's on something like Google, like your Google business page, or if it's um, insider pages, super pages, Manta, go ahead and respond. Just do it quick. You don't want people to see something like a delayed response when it comes to this. You could turn a potentially negative situation into a positive situation if you do respond quickly. But if you just discover it and it's 6 months old, there's no point in responding. The damage is already done. Um, Another thing, if you don't have a blog or your client doesn't have a blog, you got to start one up. Not only is it important for SEO purposes or authority purposes, it also helps with your reputation. I mean, the amount of things that you could cover. It helps with lead generation. It helps with lead nurturing. If you don't have a blog, whether you're offering these type of services or if it's for an offline business, you want to have a blog set up because you could answer questions that people could have. You could rank for keywords people are searching for. There's just so many things that you could do with a blog. Lewis, you don't have a blog, do you, for pressure washing?
I don't, man, but now that I'm getting ready, the plan is this. I recently, since I recently changed up the business model some, I'm thinking about creating an overall authority site. And when I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and create a blog for that, and create a crap ton of inner pages and uh, the whole interlinking, everything I learned from the on-page webinar. I'll be using that as a guideline. And for those of you guys who haven't seen it, all the replays are on the blog, and you have a YouTube channel up, right, Nathan?
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah,
when the webinar's over, you get taken to a thank you page, and it'll have links to the other webinars too.
yeah, yeah. Good, good, good. No, but what I was saying was, yeah, I'll be using that as a guide, and uh, absolutely, I'm going to start a blog. I mean, it helps capture just the long tail keywords, and a lot of people don't even think about doing it. So, uh, absolutely.
Yeah, and now another question people would probably have is whether the blog should be on like a, domain.com/blog or blog.domain.com. Like, do you want it as a subdomain or as an actual part of the domain? And in most cases, you do want it to be like an actual part of the domain, like slash blog. Um, but in the case of reputation management, you usually want to have it on a subdomain, blog.domain.com. And the reason for that is because you have more results that'll show up in branded searches. So you're limited to top level domain like domain.com slash whatever keyword when it comes to the rankings. But um, if you have subdomains with different keywords, you'll be able to rank more properties of the domain with a subdomain than you can without. So you'll just have to use your best judgment with that. A lot of people don't realize that, so just thought I'd throw that out there. Is there anything you want to add, Lewis, before we go to the Q&A part?
No, I'm ready to hop on over, man.
All right, so questions and answers. What are your questions, everybody? Let's see. Chris already asked, should you host these different sites on different accounts? Okay, so your or different servers. So your Facebook business page, Instagram, all this stuff. These are sites that aren't hosted by you, so you don't need to worry about that. Now, if you're talking about like your businessnamereviews.com or business name or complaints.com, it doesn't matter. You could have that on the same server. It's not going to make any difference. You're not creating a private blog network or anything like that. So there's no sense in having separate servers for those sites.
Yep, yep, yep. Ladies and
Uh,
gentlemen, how many of you guys learned something tonight, or just felt like it was an aha moment? Give me a five if you did tonight. I just curious out of curiosity. Lots of ahas. Good, Chris. Mason,
all
no,
right,
it's not 3 hours. Our very first webinar was two on accident.
2 hours and like was it 2 hours and 26 minutes or 27 minutes or something?
Yeah, it
And
was long, man.
then the second one was like 2 hours and something minutes.
We're getting better at shortening it down.
And then an hour and 47 minutes was last week's.
Yeah,
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 I'm actually surprised this one we're already you know we're gonna be under that.
yeah. Chris, last week was what the hell was last week?
Cold
Oh,
emailing.
yeah, cold email. That's right.
Andrea says you actually let people put reviews on businessnamereviews.com or boost it up a little with fake reviews before letting people come in it. So if you have a review portal like businessnamereviews.com, uh, you could put some reviews on there that already exist, or you could just have it as like a lead capture page where you're obviously not capturing the lead, but you're capturing the review. So it's the same concept and purpose as a lead capture page. It would just be a review capture page. Make sense? Cool.
Yep,
Yes,
that's
pretty
exactly what that
much.
means, Mason.
I guess we should repeat that for people. So pretty much, if things go to shit on you, you can pull the plug. Yes.
I love it, man. That's exactly what that means.
Yeah, and really, I mean, that's the goal here. You want to manage the reputation before there's anything really to worry about. You want to have things set up before you even have a negative review. That makes things a lot easier. So, any other questions? Andrea, Chris, Mason, David, John. John says yes. It's time for Lewis to draw on the logo.
Yeah, I always do, brother.
Shouldn't we leave our reputation management name the same for SEO purposes? Um, I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Oh, okay. So he's talking about like saying um, SEO purposes is in ranking for reputation management. Um, what's more powerful is having your own branded term, what you are marketing. There's no competition on that. So of course you're not going to um, pull in a lot of searches for a made up or whatever term that you create for yourself to differentiate. But you do want to use these terms or the more popular terms like in blog content, different long tail keywords that you could target on your blog or inbound marketing, things like that. So you'll still be able to find, or people will still be able to find you when they're searching for those related keywords. You're just calling it something else.
Yep,
Does that
yep,
make
yep.
sense? Does that make sense to you, Lewis?
Yeah, actually, funny enough, man, I have a question for you, and the question is this: when you're selling SEO, and say just for example, let me give you an example, and I'm sure you come across this, and it's probably two different scenarios I'm curious about. The first scenario is you find someone that's ranking for SEO. You find someone that's got a great website. Um, well, no, we kind of talked about that. Let's say you find somebody from scratch, like they don't have anything, and but they have money, they want to invest. Let's say it's a new venture or something like that. They're kind of established in business already. Um, when you sell the whole package, kind of if you could kind of tell us how you structure the deal, uh, uh, um, how you kind of talk about it with the owner and how you differentiate each service, because in my mind, and I know because I'm here doing SEO as well. In my mind, SEO entails of reputation management to a certain extent, uh, in my mind, right? Um,
Yeah.
and so just kind of curious how you differentiate yourself, how you differentiate the services, and kind of if it's not too much to ask about pricing and stuff.
Well, I mean, you don't break it down like, all right, so when you're selling to a business, you don't want to break it down and give them like a checklist of things that you'll be doing. You don't want to break it down to that level, because then you don't have a client, you have an employer. So that's one thing you got to be careful of right there. You want to, like, if it's SEO, reputation management, lead generation, this type of stuff, you want to position yourself differently. You want to change the term, internet visibility optimization, authority creation, reputation marketing, things like this, where you could show big picture stuff, whether it's SEO, whether it's lead generation, social media marketing, whatever you're doing, you're able to show big picture stuff and not create like a checklist of things that you're going to be doing as an employee. You don't want to do that. So focus on big picture things. It's easy for these businesses to um, see the benefits. I mean, you mentioned Facebook. So you mentioned Twitter, you've mentioned Google, you mentioned these top properties that are already branded and people know about, and they automatically associate those with you, it's kind of I don't really know how to describe it. It's kind of like it's not social proof. It's kind of suggestive proof. Um, you know, you're already associating these words in their business, and they probably see the value. They know everybody's on Facebook. They know people are searching Google for different terms, and then once they find somebody, they want to look up that business and see the terms that they're ranking for, and anything about the business, whether it's positive or negative. So there's not really a unique way to pitch it. You just want to be different. You don't want to be competing just with SEO. You don't want to compete with all the hundreds of thousands of SEO companies out there. You just want to be unique. That's all I could really say about that. I don't know. Does that clear it up at all for you, Lewis? And as far as pricing goes, I mean, you could basically charge whatever you want. I've seen people charge as little as $100 a month to $10,000 a month. So, I guess it depends on the presentation, but um, I mean the price range would vary with that.
Sure, sure. No, that was a great answer, man. Um, Mark asks, he said, "Will you ever do a Webby on your sell and create websites model?" So I guess he's asking about going in depth on websites or web design.
Um, I don't know. Maybe.
Perhaps. Yeah,
Yeah, that would
Mason says,
be
"Oh, go
a
ahead."
lot of content. I was just commenting on Mason. Yeah, that it would be a lot of content.
Yeah, be a hell of a lot of content.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that we would be able to cover that in a single webinar.
Yeah, maybe we could talk a couple of things, I know conversion rate optimization is pretty big. I mean, you have that aspect. I mean, you could talk about design and user experience. I mean, there's just so much, there's so many different things.
Yeah, I mean, and then you have on-page stuff with that, loading times, um, the whole getting sales thing, and then doing the work, then making them happy, fulfillment, retention. I mean, there's so much. Uh, so, and it's not exactly. I, I wouldn't say it's my bread and butter. I don't know, maybe it is. I see it as a great introduction service. Um, you get somebody to buy a website, that's a nice upfront fee plus hosting plus upselling them to SEO or whatever else plus cross-selling to pay-per-click or something else. So it's a great um, introduction service. And another good thing about selling websites is that once you sell a website and other people are calling this customer for SEO or whatever other service, um, they're probably going to be one of the people that say, "Oh no, I already have a website guy," and then hang up. It happens, and then they end up calling you saying, "Hey, I had a call about this, and I was just wondering, is this something that you do? I'd rather use you because I already know you." So that's why I like offering that as an intro service. But as far as a webinar on that, I'm not sure. I'm not sure we could do that. Maybe we could break it off into bits and pieces. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to know what other people are interested in learning, I mean, we could probably go on and on and on and on and on about marketing in general, but I mean, is there any topics that come to mind, gentlemen, that that you'd like to learn more about? Mason says CRO. Yeah, yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think is there any more questions, or does anyone else have any other comments they'd like to make, or anybody have any? I hope you don't have any concerns, but
Yeah, I think we'll probably be talking about content marketing on Friday. Content marketing for yourself in order to get clients, generate some inbound leads, uh, get some different long-tailed rankings, using different properties to do that and syndicate your content.
yep, yep, yep. So, guys, how did you like Monday for the webinar as opposed to Friday?
I personally hate it.
Yeah, I didn't like it too much either. I was way busy today.
Yeah, Mondays are probably the worst day for me. Um, I think we're gonna have to stick with Friday.
Yep, yep. I like Friday.
So Friday it is. It remains Friday for now.
Yep.
Chris
But
said he thinks he read that I recommended lots of landing pages. Did I dream that? No, you didn't. I do recommend a lot of landing pages. Um, and that's something we'll cover in the webinar on Friday, content marketing, because part of content marketing is gonna include lead magnets and a lot of different landing pages for those lead magnets. Um, and also, and I guess I shouldn't expand on this too much, but if you're doing any kind of email marketing and you watched the webinar on cold emailing, if you set up a landing page specific to the industry, your conversions are going to be better. I should have included that in the webinar, but I didn't last week. But now you know, and the people listening to the replay, now you guys know. So yeah, I'm a big fan of different landing pages.
yep, and that's a good introduction to conversion rate optimization. Maybe we can do that the following Friday.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. Good
Yeah,
call.
I like it.
Sweet. So I guess that wraps it up. Thank you everybody for coming. We will be back here again on Friday, this Friday, just a few days from now at 8 p.m. Central Time. Um, Hope to see you guys there. If you haven't subscribed to the webinar email list, you'll be taken to a thank you page where you can do so, and you'll be alerted, and you'll be sent the link to register. Anything else I'm forgetting, Lewis?
That's it, guys. Uh, uh, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, thank you all for coming. I love being here. I look forward to seeing you guys on Friday at 8 p.m.
Sweet. And thank you, Lewis, for joining again, and I'm glad we were able to take care of your microphone issue.
Yep, yep. We're good though.
All right. All right. Thanks, everybody. And we'll see you next time.
Take care, guys.